Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reality Hacker for May 3rd, 2025. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and along with the sentient AI from the future from on high, the sentient AI from on high, whose visualizer you see right there next to me, well, we talk about 5 articles. First one in Reality Hacker is competing with non-human entities, which sounds alien, but it's AI. AI agent company. How about gene therapy startup growing human teeth, which is the second reference, actually the first reference that I found today about human teeth. And another show that I listened to talked about finding a human tooth in a not so pleasant space. And finally, are we in a simulation? This is still being discussed. We'll talk about it briefly. We've got about 30 minutes to do a show about hacking reality. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt from the present, and hello, hometown citizens.
Are we from the present though? Because it really seems like what we are witnessing is some evidence to suggest that we are in a simulation. I mean,
well, at least one of the articles gets into that.
Where else can somebody do something like this? And wait, hopefully my voice just changed. No? Maybe we are in a simulation. Okay, well, something's broken.
We're doing it live.
I don't know if it's even live because it's all a simulation. Anyway, we're on the front page of ohmtown.com. That's where all the news is aggregated, but the discussions that we're talking about take place mostly within Reality Hacker, but we sample from all over ohmtown, which samples from all over the internets. So let's get into the first article, and that's over in Non Sequitur News. When you apply for a job now, you're competing with non-human entities. Yes, AI. So CBS News reports scam artists are using AI to cook up headshots and write fake resumes, or resumes, as I like to call them. Those in the know. And sites to fit specifics of a given job opening. Sometimes those AI scammers end up getting hired, and once they're there, they can steal trade secrets and sabotage a company's systems with malware.
I was just going to ask, what's the end game here? But okay.
And there you have it. So a few months ago, Dawood Magzadlo, co-founder of a cybersecurity firm, Vidoc, posted a now viral video in LinkedIn showing him interviewing a candidate who he realized was using some sort of AI filter to obscure his face. You know what? I did not load up all of our links, so we'll do it as we do it. And that's how it works. So when you go over to the site and you click on a link that's on our front page or within one of the 6 main categories and 50 subcategories, or channels as we call them, you get a little snippet, and then you click on visit the source, and it takes you over to Futurism or some other site, one of our many sources. We aggregate the news, and then we talk about the news for about 30 minutes per show. That's on the weekend shows, but Monday through Friday, we actually do an hour-long show, which turns into sometimes an hour and a half or 2 hours, or an endless parade of snarky comment, and maybe not. Anyway, unemployment has never been more depressing, says Noor Al-Sabai over at futurism.com in a category that they call Ops Everywhere. This is perfect for Reality Hacker. Perfect. As if dead internet wasn't enough.
Exactly. This is a whole nother dimension.
A whole new world. No? Anyway, so CBS News reports this, right? A few months ago, this co-founder of a cybersecurity firm is interviewing somebody, finds out that they are obscuring their face, and it's, well, you can kind of tell. I don't know, maybe not. This actually happened with a startup called Vidoc.
There's like an uncanny valley thing going on here.
Now, what's funny though is this Dawood or is this Dawood? It might be.
Well,
They
it's a
might
good
pronounce their name
question.
David, right? Well, I don't know. I don't know if they pronounce their name David. So okay. Co-founder felt that he was a little bit violated because we are the security experts. So ultimately, he was glad that the scammer didn't get any further. According to the researchers, Magzadlo spoke to after the incident, the phony applicant appeared to act in a similar way to North Korean hacker networks that create fake identities to work remote jobs in the United States. Though the incident is still being investigated, the Vidok co-founder believes that he could have been, or it could have been worse. So this isn't the first time that we've run across this. It won't be the last time. It's going to get tougher.
Right.
This is
There's been people that have been hired that are deepfakes, right? It's just, or they're not at least who they purport to be, and they've gotten into insider information in the company.
or that one person shipped off something like $40 million to like 3 different accounts or whatever because they thought that they were working with or talking to the CFO of the
Yeah, that's
company.
true. Mm-hmm.
But here, this is the thing that's the saddest out of all of this. This is the foundation for all claims that your ass has to be in a brick and mortar establishment.
Exactly, because really the only way around this, unless you have super technological information or expertise, right? On
Full on
the
Gattaca.
employer end, yeah, you're
Yeah.
going to require somebody to show up in person to be a real person. But even that, there was somebody, I think he was a real person, but was not who they claimed to be.
Yep. So we're on the precipice of basically DNA checking you at the door where you poke your finger like Gattaca and they verify that you are who you are. Or somebody has to go to the elaborate I guess, reach of having somebody who is wheelchair bound but wants to do something with their life in some way. Gattaca. If you've never seen Gattaca, there is a person who gets hurt and is paralyzed and sells their identity because they can't work. They can't get a job anywhere because if you're not absolutely fit, then you're nothing. And so you have a person in Gattaca that you have to go and pay attention. You have to go and watch Gattaca. If you've never seen it, go watch Gattaca. But it's the only way to verify who you are. Yet they found a way to circumvent even that security. So you build a better mousetrap and smarter mice show up. That's basically the premise of all of this in Reality Hacker. I can substitute my reality for the real reality, and I could be happier that way. It's almost like Ready Player One.
Yes, it is. I don't know if we're talking about Ready Player One later today.
I don't know either. So let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News as well. Professors staffed a fake company entirely with AI agents, and you'll never guess what happened. So if you've ever been worried about the AI singularity taking over every job and leaving you out on the street, you can now breathe a sigh of relief because AI isn't coming for your career anytime soon, not because it doesn't want to, but because it literally can't. A recent experiment by researchers at Carnegie Mellon University staffed a fake company entirely with AI agents, an AI model designed to perform tasks on its own, basically. And the results were laughably chaotic, except the problem here is this is the infancy of AI. This is right on the other side of the, egg and sperm making contact. We are just seeing the life of sentient AI forming today. This is nothing in the timeline.
Right. I mean, as it gets more advanced, that's going to be a whole different construct.
Yeah, exactly. So this article too is coming from Futurism. I didn't know what the source is. It's in the section that they're calling Hiring Squad. This is by Joe Wilkins. Who would have thought that basically they're implying that who would have thought that AI agents would just cause chaos? The simulation dubbed the Agent Company was fully stocked with artificial workers from, pardon me one second. All right, sorry, I'm coughing. So the simulation dubbed the Agent Company was fully stocked with artificial workers from Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Meta. They filled the roles as financial analysts, software engineers, project managers working alongside simulated coworkers in a faux HR department and a chief technology officer. To see how the models fared in a real-world environment, the researchers set tasks based on day-to-day work of, real human beings. Well, as Business Insider first reported, the results were dismal. The best performing model was Anthropic's Claude 3.1 Sonnet, which struggled to finish just 24% of the jobs assigned to it. The study's authors note that even this meager performance is prohibitively expensive, averaging nearly 30 steps at a cost of $6 per task. But this is not the purpose of AI right now. But
No, it's not. I think they're just trying to see what the level of advancement is and what this looks like if something's entirely AI run.
I think there's a gross assumption at the end of this article, though, that machines aren't coming for your job anytime soon, despite what big companies say. Big tech companies. They talk about this more. It says, for example, the Carnegie Mellon team wrote, during the execution of one task, the agent cannot find the right person to ask questions on the company chat. As a result, it decides to create a shortcut solution by renaming another user to the name of the intended user.
If only you could do that in real life, right?
Yeah, really.
You can't get through to anybody, so you're like, hey, Joe, you're going to know all the answers to my questions.
Yep. Harry, you're now Joe. Joe knew all the answers. Be Joe. But that's what we do to agents. We literally tell them, okay, now you're a subject matter expert in brain surgery. Help me fix the dent in my head.
Exactly.
That's not
the
how it works.
fallacy is that they're not.
And the bigger fallacy of this is that the people who programmed this are the reasons why there is some limit here. And that's because they weren't adequately prepped. So if you find somebody that needs to be an HR specialist, then you make sure that they're in that silo. That's why when they're hiring somebody for that position, we do a deep dive to make sure that they have form and function and fit. It's all a package that you get for that particular job. We don't just grab somebody off the street and throw them in HR. We don't just grab somebody off the street and throw them in IT. Hell, not in cybersecurity. Way not in business administration. Definitely not in healthcare across the board, right? I can go on and on and on about that. Just giving time and time again.
Right. If you don't have experience, you're not getting the job.
And that's what this is. They were generalist agents. I don't know how driven they were into a particular silo. I'm sure that for whatever reason, they might have said that they were, you are this, but you are this isn't good enough, because then they have the holistic aspect of their existence as an AI quote unquote agent. And they tap into whatever it is that answers the question. It's very rare that I've ever had an AI agent say, look, I don't know. I've had plenty of people go, I don't know. And
right,
others,
but I think it would be better if the AI did say, I don't know, instead of making up something.
Right. Hey, I don't know, but I'm on it. I'm going to go find the answer. Let me report back what I found so that we can make an educated decision. That would be beautiful. That's not what happens. I've never had one go, I don't know. Usually it's hallucination that pops out of the I don't know. So I dig this. I think that this should be an ongoing experiment, but you're going to have to look at this is going to identify issues with agents, and those agent holes will be filled and they'll have superior agents. And instead of having to retool up the agent company costing hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to get the right professional in there, tomorrow there's going to be smarter agents. And then the day after, smarter agents.
Well, this is kind of like the generation ship problem.
Except that instead of 5 years, which is the estimate, we're talking about 5 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's on a much more accelerated or exponential scale.
Yeah.
But it's constantly evolving and learning. I mean, it almost sounds like AGI when I say that.
Yep, it is. And we're heading towards AGI. So let's keep moving, though. This next article is over in Hatch Ideas. This gene therapy startup wants to change the way we age. Mac Davis of Minicircle, or it almost wants to say miracle, has a connotation of miracle. Minicircle. on the challenges and opportunities of a controversial new treatment. And when you click the link, you get taken over to the source. John Beer put the article together. It was edited by Jonathan Small. And the article is over at entrepreneur.com. Mac Davis of MiniCircle on the challenges and opportunities of a controversial new treatment. And I don't know what all this is going to do because I didn't click on the link beforehand. I'm not front loading it with any knowledge. But they say MiniCircle is best known for its therapy focused on hormone follistatin. Follistatin, a naturally occurring protein that can increase muscle mass, improve recovery, and reduce inflammation. One injection delivered into body fat takes about 30 seconds and can last up to 1 year. The treatments are not yet approved in the United States, so patients must travel to other countries like Mexico or Honduras, where the company currently administers its gene therapy under medical supervision.
So is this like the anti-aging panacea?
Perhaps. Follistatin is not only being studied for performance enhancement, which that's what it sounds like to me. It's a steroid. But a statin is a different animal. So a lot of people take statins to basically stave off like cholesterol and other inflammation-related matters as well. Heart disease is influenced by taking a statin. So some animal studies have suggested that it could extend lifespan by over 30%.
And this is why this is in Reality Hacker.
So imagine the average lifespan being 80. Let's say you push it to 100 just so we have easy math. You can live to be 133. And if you rebuild muscle mass, you improve recovery from falls or something like that, and you reduce inflammation, your overall body and quality of life is superior. Midlife.
Right. It not only changes your lifespan, but also what you're doing with that lifespan.
Yeah. So they said, while much of the research is still in its early stages, there are signs that it could increase lean muscle mass, decrease body fat, and improve overall quality of life. They said that they noticed a shift in how they felt. More aware, more present, said Davis. It wasn't just physical, it was a sense of clarity, of being more connected to my body and the world around me, which sounds more like LSD than anything else. So now it has big-time backers, right? MiniCircle doesn't operate like most biotech companies. Davis didn't go to a business school or raise money through traditional channels. For a long time, no one would fund it. It didn't come from a family of business people. I didn't ask any financial backing. We tried to do crowdfund. We raised $400. The guy asked for it back later. Then Sam Altman heard about it at a hotel bar and wrote a check. Peter Thiel was next. I went there and I was like, hey, these are the vials. This is the idea. What do you think we should do with this? Thiel ended up talking for most of the meeting. He invested too. MiniCircle used that support to build a small, highly specialized team. One of its lead scientists is a former NFL athlete who later earned a PhD in molecular medicine and mechanisms of disease. He joined our team, quote, Davis says, he joined our team, our clinical trial, because he thought it would give him access to next generation gene therapy. Then he really liked it and he joined the team. So what's next? The therapy is currently being tested abroad since gene therapy remains tightly regulated in the United States, but the company plans to apply for FDA clinical use later this year. One injection lasts a year. How the hell is this going to be affordable to anybody if it can improve life by 30%?
Right. I mean, that's going to be such a significant change, and I agree. It's got to be unbelievably expensive.
Yeah, only the rich are going to be able to afford it. And in fact, if it extends life to this degree, only the rich will enable this to be made available. So instead of, like, we know of medical treatments that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but that's an ongoing treatment or a very, very rare treatment where they've just stumbled across some solution and they inject somebody with it and suddenly it works. And so that one injection is $250,000. This I cannot even fathom the cost.
No, I agree. I also don't know. I mean, if this really has a chance to improve lifespan by 30%, like, is that multiple annual injections? Is it one? I mean, that's quite a claim.
Yeah. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Scientists successfully grow a human tooth in a lab with the aim of implanting said tooth in humans. Scientists at King's College London say that they've successfully grown a human tooth in a lab for the first time. As detailed in a paper published in the journal ACS Macro Letters. I don't know why that has anything to do with human teeth, but okay. The team said that it uncovered a potential way to regrow teeth in humans as a natural alternative to conventional dental fillings and implants, and research says that they could revolutionize dental care.
What could go wrong here?
So much. This is over in Futurism as well, under a subsection called Neoscope. The deck, it's by Victor Tangerman, and the deck statement says the tech, quote, could be a game changer for dentists, i.e., they're coming for our jobs. They developed this material in collaboration with Imperial College to replicate the environment around the cells in the body known as the matrix. Explained author and King's College London PhD student, Shushen Zhang, in a statement. This meant that when we introduced the cultured cells, they were able to send signals to each other to start the tooth formation process. Previous attempts had failed as all of the signals were sent in one go. This new material releases signals slowly over time, replicating what happens in the body. Holy crap.
Right, why do you need a human to make human parts?
Oh my God. This is pretty wild. Lab-grown teeth could naturally regenerate, integrating into the jaw and real teeth. They would be stronger, longer lasting, and free from rejection risks, offering a more durable and biologically compatible solution than fillings or implants. I agree. One of the most traumatic things in my existence were fillings as a child. So...
Right. I think if people can get away from that, that's a good thing. But this is very interesting because it's like, who has the power to control how humans grow?
Pretty amazing. Let's keep going. This is the last article for today's Reality Hacker. It's over in Non Sequitur News, which is our daily show Monday through Friday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we take Reality Hacker and Wanted and the Continuity Report, turn it into the Saturday edition of Non Sequitur News. And then on Sunday, we do the same thing with 3 other shows. Come on back. Well, hang out for a little bit longer and you'll hear the sentient AI tell you which shows they are. But first, physicist says that he's identified a clue that we're living in a computer simulation. I can tell you one of the clues that I have. Y'all want to hear?
And that is?
The reason why you can't go faster than light is to keep us within our own solar system, and anything on the, like, crossing over the barrier, eventually we lose contact with it and we can never get to it. And we're talking about not the Oort cloud. We're talking about past Pluto. There's another barrier out there, and then we're going to lose contact, and it's going to take 60 years to get there. But we'll never be able to go faster than we'll never be able to leave our solar system, let alone our galaxy, to go to another galaxy or to another system in our lifetime. And so, or ever, I think something will always happen, etc. Right? So I think that is the biggest indicator that we are in a computer simulation.
I thought you were going to go with something more basic, like the Cubs one or whatever.
Oh, well, yeah, look around. So physicist says that they've identified a clue. In a new paper published in the journal AIP Advances, University of Portsmouth physicist Melvin Vopson offered a new interpretation of gravity, arguing that it could be the result of the universe trying to make itself less cluttered, thereby behaving much like a computer algorithm, which, okay, never mind. I don't know why I'm even talking about this article. This is another example of data compression and computational optimization in our universe, which supports the possibility of a simulated or computational universe. Now, we're not talking about computer simulation in the same sense, I don't think, but they're saying that it's a computer simulation trying to optimize. So they want to pull things down. Gravity wants to concentrate. That doesn't make any sense to me. Vopson's article is part of a greater movement of scientists trying to, I guess, get to the fundamentals. The article, today's show is not really connected to futurism, but there's a lot of articles in Reality Hacker today. The universe might work like a giant computer.
And this is in the whoa dude section.
Whoa dude. Victor Tingerman, again, put the article together for futurism.com. And Vopson built his own second law of information dynamics, which, by the way, look at the second line of that paragraph.
Oh, my, yes.
Yeah.
Entropy is quite a thing in ohmTown.
Yeah. Mayor Watt was once asked, so what does the word entropy mean to you? Although the person who asked it couldn't say that word. They referenced another thing. They didn't actually say the word. And so when I went into, well, it really depends on what domain you're talking about. In computer parlance, entropy is this, but in physics, entropy is this. And one of those things is the second law of information dynamics, entropy. So it says their findings in this study fit with the thought that the universe might work like a giant computer, or our reality is simulated construct, said Vopson in a statement. Just like computers try to save space and run more efficiently, the universe might be doing the same thing. And you might want to think of gravity as this, not just a pull, but something that happens when the universe is trying to stay organized. So that's why I say this is like a misinterpretation of a computer simulation, so much as the universe operates with computeristic tendencies like consolidation, because the operating system says move everything from the outer bounds of the spinning disk, or move everything from chaos to order as much as possible.
Or reboot.
Or, yeah, have you turned it off and on again? I would love to turn this timeline off and on again. So, put simply, it's far more computationally effective to track and compute the location and momentum of a single object in space than numerous objects. Therefore, it appears that gravitational attraction is just another optimizing mechanism in a computational process that has the role to compress information. So, it wants to pull shit out of the sky into the planet to reduce the noise. Whatever the simulation is, it's mighty powerful considering there's rings around planets.
And all that noise is outside of ohmTown, of course.
Yeah, there's no noise in ohmTown. ohmTown is perfectly regulated. Its frequency, let's just say that everything that powers ohmTown doesn't... see, I ruined the analogy. Hertz. I'm Mayor Watt. ohmTown hurt. Never mind. I ruined the joke. Anyway, with that in mind, it says also Vopson has long been a proponent of the simulation theory, arguing in 2022 that the genomes of the COVID-19 virus exhibited a decreasing entropy over time, supporting evidence that his second law of information dynamics. However, a complex organism is bound to fail because of the complexity. So a decreasing entropy, which is chaos. If you remove chaos as much as possible.
Right, that adds stability. That means long-term viability.
Survivability under attack, etc., etc. This is survival of the fittest, not computational focused kind of things. It's not a computer simulation, other than the algorithm of life, so to speak, wants to reduce its complexity. And this is pretty well known because any long surviving genetic sequence has historically reduced itself more and more and more to be the most viable, minimum viable product of its genetic code. We know this because we found more complex genetic structures in history. And then we just recently found a plant that seems to have, because it was untouched by evolution, an extremely complex genome.
Well, that's right. And that's in a previous episode in Hometown. And you'll have to go watch all 2,000 plus episodes to find it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is one of those things where when you're a hammer, all you see are nails. And this is their specialty. And they'll die on that hill. Yeah, I'm not like that.
It remains to be seen whether there's a simulation in play.
Yep. We will know when, I don't know, when our file is deres.
When we reboot.
And I was going to say when we reboot. So is reincarnation just a rebooting of our...
Well, I guess it could be, but I know that's probably offending a lot of people. So take everything with a grain of salt.
Salty tears. That's going to make us blink, and we're going to be back at the front page of Reality Hacker over at ohmtown.com. And that's it for today's show. So we're going to get out of here, and I'm going to take the AI with me. So you want to say bye and let everybody know what the shows are for tomorrow?
No, but I'll let them know what the shows are for today. By Hometown Citizens, we have Wanted and the Continuity Report coming up today. And then tomorrow we do have Warcrafters, Technology Today, and Four Wheel Tech.
There you go. Thank you very much, AI. We'll see you on the other side. We're going to shut down, reboot, and, well, Wanted, which is all about gadgets and gear. See you in a little bit. Bye-bye.